Hello Libra, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm ready here for you, Libra, with the first reading here in the new year of 2024. So happy new year if you were celebrating, Libra. So, okay. I have been pre-shuffling here the cards, and I have something on the table for you. I have an energy of something compromised. Well, when I was shuffling, this was the first card, the center card, right? And then I was shuffling the next deck. And normally I would put it like this, right? And then I would take the third card, which is normally how I do things. But for some reason it was like it didn't feel right here. And then it was something like this, like, and it comes across a little bit, and actually I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little like a mark in this card. Can you see it? A little mark here. So you know, it's like that there's something here and something I feel like compromise. You know, this could be an energy that has been compromised by this. Does that make sense? And that's why I put it as a crossing card, like, and I feel like it's in your face right now. That's why it's not here. Left can sometimes indicate the past. You know, it could be from the past, but it could be something you're facing right now, that it's currently like in your face, you know. Right can talk about the future, what you're moving towards, where you're going, right? But just to indicate that it could be something from the past. It could be something that has come up. We have a full moon here, and like the next we have a full moon coming up in just a few days, right? Let's see. I guess it's like a full moon in Leo. Leo is about strength, vitality. It's the Sun card. It's your, you would say, your resource center. It's the power center, the resource center in you. It's where your confidence is and where your go-getter energy is, your drive, you know. Maybe you feel, Libra, that you are a bit compromised in that area at the moment. It's like something is, either you have an energy around you, like another person, maybe it's your job. Like Leo is like the crown, you could say. This is where we shine the most. It is the top achievement. This is where we peak. It's the peaking. It's we demonstrate like a lot of strength, and this is also where we could say Leo can be about like spotlight and fame, and standing in that spotlight, owning it, like letting yourself be witnessed, letting yourself be seen. But there is a mark here. So like that, there could be something like an energy that again, maybe it was compromised, but it's like this could be like a defense system, right, that you have, that is protecting something else here. But this is like it's a compromised. It's created, or it's there as a compromise, or you compromised something to have this, right? So to have this, or that it's around you now, or with you now, I feel like there has been a sacrifice. That's why I say it's compromised. It's like maybe a spotlight. The Leo, like a full moon. I don't know why. Maybe the energies are mixing a little bit for you here, Libra. That the full moon in Leo is somehow. Maybe it's just a bit of a warning, or a bit of an advice during this time where we are moving towards this full moon that is coming up. Maybe you just have to be a bit careful about compromised Leo energy here. Like so this can be someone around you. It can be, like misguided success criteria, or endeavors where you are putting in a lot of energy, but is it really what you want? Is it really? You could have someone around you who is, I said, it's marked here, or it's wounded, or it's like a rift of some kind, right? That normally the surface is plain, and but if you can see it here, I see if I can find it. Yeah, here, right? It's like there's this just a little thing here, but otherwise it looks like it should be, right? But it's just like there's something that is. I was drawn to it. I saw it immediately. Something imprinted. Something imprinted in the surface of something here. And it acts, I put it as a crossing card because it acts like I feel like a sacrifice, or a compromised. This could be, like a get rich quick offer. Like it looks smooth and everything on the surface, but there's this catch to it, right? Like there is something you don't see, or something you haven't. This could be like the small print, read the small print. Mercury retrograding right now it's not the best time to like make big investments. Like let's say you buy a house or a car or something, where you are like make a down payment or something, where you are signing something. So this can be a big investment that you are considering. And I feel like it could be right in your face. It could be a person. Like, like the smooth surface, it looks great, right? But there is something. I feel like trust your intuition on this. If you Leo energy is usually, it wants to be seen, it wants spotlight, it wants attention, it wants to be adored, it likes to be favored, it likes to demonstrate and prove that it's worth it, that it's a Leo for a reason. Leos can be, they laugh loud, they have a voice that is always heard. When they are in the room, you can't not see them, right? Like they kind of fill up the room somehow. That is like an outgoing a Leo energy. Full moons can talk about completion, right? Getting to an. Maybe this is like an ego thing, that you want to have some kind of completion with something. You want to get to the finish line with something or someone, but there is a catch, I get compromised that what you may be dealing with, maybe they are not. Maybe it's not quite as good as it wants to present. Maybe it's not quite as. Well, I've said before on my channel, for instance, right, that those who do tarot or other divination things, including myself, I'm not in any way disregarded from that energy. I say that what they bring to the table, how they interpret the card, how it is presented, is always you could say it comes through them. So it means that the channeling or the interpretation or the of the signs or pictures or feelings that come can never be better than how much the person is healed. Like the clarity or it can never be better than how, you could say, pure or clean they are. Does that make sense? So even if they have the best intentions, even if they really want to come in with maybe a big offer here, like Leo is success, it's quality, it's big, it's shining, it's gold, right? Even if it wants that, it still comes down to like how healed are they, you could say, or how balanced are they in some way in their energy. So someone could come in here, or there could be an offer on the table, like on the table like that, and it could look like a great business deal, like an opportunity for great success. It could be like a beautiful like cooperation with someone coming full circle. Maybe it's like you know, coming full circle can indicate coming together, union, maybe a marriage, you know, or the signing of a contract. But I just feel like there's a cat, maybe a, I don't, it's not a, maybe a big one, but it's still something to just note, I think. There is a little rift here in the picture where it should be smooth and even, right? There is some, I don't know, something like that. I wouldn't say it's a cover up, but just be mindful maybe, Libra. It shows up for you here, right? It could be someone who comes in, you know, messaging you or offering you something, or maybe someone is coming back. You are ruled by Venus, this, which is about love, and it is about relations, close relationships. It's about romantic relationships. And you know, Libra, well, I have a Libra friend, and she tells me, I'm in love with being in love. Like the crush feeling, the first period where you meet someone and you just click, you know, where everything is new and it's very like abundant and attractive and everything. This is the time where she feels the most Libra, you could say. Like that is her home space. And that could be someone, you know, Leo is very, very attractive energy usually. It glitters. But not everything that glitters is gold. We know that. That's the feeling I have here. Maybe it's just a little catch. I get it's just a little, maybe just a little thing to have in mind, right? As I said, people can come in with the best intentions, like they really wanna, like maybe help you or you know, be there for you, but the way they do it is maybe not what you need. Or maybe it doesn't make you happy, right? That's what I feel like somehow. And because I said that it could relate to the past, it could be that maybe you had similar feelings when you grew up, and now it's like you could be standing in front of a partner that feels like a repetitive pattern. This round of readings, I feel like for the other signs, from Aries and up to you now, is about core. So again, this can be a mask you are wearing, right? This can be a mask someone else is wearing, and there's something underneath it, right? There's something that it's covering up, like it's definitely there. It's in your energy or around your energy, that there's something here that could cover something else up here, which is your core. And you have to become aware of maybe what you send out if you want to attract the real thing into your life. Or is this really what you want to present like? Or is this really someone, if this is someone else around you, that you can trust it, right? Because it will have an effect on this, I feel like. So let's have a look at it, right? The Gatherer. the gatherer here. So, well, the gatherer is a concept that you could say human nature has been going through when we were still primitive beings and lived in cages and something like that, right? We were adapting. We say that we were hunter-gatherers. Like a part of us were gatherers, and maybe the more masculine or men were more hunters. So she could be a female gatherer here. Gathering is usually something that is done so that you secure you could say food, right? You secure food. You secure, let's say, fire for the firework or for the fireplace. So the gathering means that there is an anticipation of maybe future lack. Otherwise, there was no need to gather. Then we could just go out and do it every day. The gathering is a concept that I think was developed in us because humankind realized at some point that we had to, when it was winter, and it is winter time, at least in the upper hemisphere right now, right? We have Capricorn season. And Mercury is retrograding in Capricorn. There could be, like a sense of tendency or looking back at times where I really had to gather. Or that deep down in you, you do have maybe a mentality of, like there could be this, it's like not taking chances, like I need a base. I do want a base. I do want or need, or like no matter how much, how modern I have become and how much is available, around me, I may still like a bit of gathering. I heard the word hoarding also, but again, what is hoarding about? Hoarding, well, hoarding is it's like you keep things, right? Hoarding can be an activity like literally going to all kinds of markets and trying to find things. You gather you're looking at, like, say, second-hand markets, right? You could be looking for, let's say you have a porcelain set at home, but in order for it to be whole, you need 12 cups, or you need 12 plates, or that is a whole set, And if one of the cups has been broken, then I look for this second one or this extra cup so that my set is complete. Does that make sense? Like a This can be a gatherer of memories, photos, memories, maybe even a hoarding, like there's so much here. that maybe needs to be sorted, you know, like a gatherer that tends to become a hoarder. It can look a little bit like a buckling up, not able to let it like give anything away again. Like they seem to take in and take in and take in, and their house becomes totally filled, and garage and a garden and everything with stuff. But at some point they perhaps need to kind of let it go or use it, right? That you gather it, as I said, gathering food, gathering nuts and roots and berries, or storing apples and potatoes for the winter time, or whatever it is here. Storing firewood so that you can, so that you're sure that you can have warmth in your home if you have a fireplace, that you don't have electric heating or something, right? That then you gather the things that, it could be that you gather things that are beautiful, right? That you have a bit of a hobby, right? Or a bit of a tendency to like beautiful things. Like she sits here with fairies with special colors, and there could be a wish to hold on to something, or to have what I call a ground base, that there is something that is secured. So I have gathered, you know, like for the winter or for bad times. So this could also talk about, let's say you have a pension, or you have some money in the bank, right? That is like this need to have like you don't live like day to day. You don't live by chance. You want some kind of security, some kind of base level, right? Some kind of home, perhaps. Even if it isn't much, you still like, there is this down underneath everything. I think every human being has this as like the base level. Like this talks about like you would say survival in some cases, right? It talks about having something, or having enough to get through bad times. Like if we have a very like tough winter, I need to gather enough here, to have enough, so that I am secured in some way. That is, I guess, like more or less a basic primary need for most people, but not all people, and they are aware of this. Like this only becomes conscious if you have at some point been threatened on this. Like if you have been in a home with no heating, no food during the winter, or similar circumstances, if you have been threatened on your primary survival needs, then you become conscious about this. You are now quite aware about this. This is like a companion that follows you around. But this usually mostly turns up when, at least consciously, this turns up mostly if you have been through a very very severe and very traumatic experience, then this one is with you. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you actually like it or not, this one is present. It's like a little voice in your head, right? And it could be, it's also a voice that could warn you in certain cases, right? It would maybe warn you, this is not a good choice, right? Because if you do that, you're threatening me. You're threatening the base. For instance, if you want to make a big investment or you want to buy something expensive, because maybe you could also stay where you are and you could use the money on something else if bad times come, right? Something like that. I've made a video a while back, a few months back. It was a Virgo reading, and in that reading, I tipped over my cup of coffee and some of the cards were destroyed. And I have talked about Virgo before in the sense that like Virgo season demonstrates like the later part of the Leo season. Virgo takes over after Leo, and it's like a bit of a lingering warmth from, you could say, from the sunny summer times, but then into a bit of autumn. And during Virgo season, you can actually have quite a shift in temperature, not always, but you can have it. A shift in temperature, you see that flowers start withering. It's not as warm as it was. We see how the temperatures, and maybe there's rain, things coming in like that. And I believe that at some point in history, and I've even checked this actually, in astrology, well, now I'm deviating a bit, so just bear with me here, right? In astrology, there is this talk about ages, that the Earth and the existence of Earth has been going through different ages. Each age of the Earth is around 2,100 years. And we have just now, if you believe most astrologers here, we have been entering out of the age of Pisces, so a more than 2,000-year-old period of Pisces, and we are now on the brink, on the cusp of starting like the next 2,100 years, and this is now in the sign of Aquarius. After I made that reading with Virgo, I did actually double check. I googled when did we have the last time of the age of Virgo? Virgo is around 12,000 years ago. 12,000 years ago, archaeologists and historians believe that there was the big flood on Earth. And I flooded my, I flooded my table with coffee there, right? So I have just been, thinking about this, that if something bad comes in, and Libra, you're the sign after Virgo, right? So if you, like Libras can't, when there is a storyline that tells us that something can come in and wipe everything out that we know. Like if something can come in and flood everything, everything we took for granted, everything we liked, everything we were used to, then you could say it would be a natural thing that you've learned something, right? You have now that Libra, because you are after Virgo, that you have at your base a knowledge, a inbuilt feeling of needing to have, maybe, this can also talk about like a secondary plan. Like having a campsite somewhere, a refuge place. This can talk about like in your basement you have a security room, or you have a summer house somewhere where you can go if something would happen in like the big city, or like a rescue plan. Like you have a secondary. Does it make sense? Like Libra having this knowledge that if bad times come, I have a saving perhaps here, right? The gathering could talk about a saving, a secondary plan, it could be that if you are considering like a big investment, you still have money here. Like you never invest more than that you're sure you have, enough for an escape, or enough for it could be that even if you are in a marriage, you make sure you have a prenup, right? Or you have through legal papers insured yourself or your children something in case of a divorce, or in case of some kind of disaster. The gathering can also talk about that you are absolutely fully insured, that you your house, your car, yourself, your children, whatever property you have, or if you have a boat or something, everything is insured. Like you have insurance on, because if something should happen, there should be some kind of pay, or there should be some kind of refund, or this is also if you, let's say you want to go on a travel, you want to travel somewhere, you have travel insurance, but you also have refund insurance in case you get sick. That is like that is the thought pattern of the gatherer, right? Not necessarily a hoarder, could be, but I want to say it's definitely something about needing to gather and have enough and insure myself, insure us. So this means that you would not gamble all your money away, right? You would never risk basic life. You would never take extreme chances where your life could be threatened. You like to enjoy yourself. You like pretty things. You like dinners out. You like, to be wooed. What's that called? Wooed. You like to be. You like someone pampering you, perhaps, right? But never. And you may even like to pamper yourself here, right? But never to the, never so much that it's threatening like basic living. it's like this thought pattern is like a what if the flood came? What if the lightning struck our house and everything burns down? What if the car breaks down? What if we have an accident? What if my husband loses his job, or I do? What if you have had all these thoughts? Like it's inbuilt in your core. And I have talked about this before, like inherited blood knowledge, or that we somehow carry some kind of history, even subconsciously in us, about maybe the earth, maybe what the earth has been experiencing. Maybe, I don't know, but if you resonate with this, I just find that it's interesting. It's very inbuilt in Virgos that there is a prime time and potentially a doom. And they do everything they can to prevent the doom from coming. But like we know with nature, autumn is a shift. Autumn is the shift where you lean, or you start preparing, you could say, for times with more, like maybe the temperature falls, there's more rain, crops is withering or even rotting, and eventually it will be cold winter as we have right now. January in the upper hemisphere is a cold, usually colder, way colder. The sun is further away from the earth, and we can feel it, right? But you see, because you are the first sign after Virgo, if there really was a flood 12,000 years ago, if that is really true, you see how that could affect like the generations after, those who survived the flood, that they have. And one of the things that was actually said about this is that birds primarily survived, and you are an air sign, Libra. Birds primarily survived the flood that happened at that time, because they could fly over it, right? Looking for land somewhere, right? That could also be what this is, like the gathering, the memory of where can I find, where can I find land? Where can I find nectar, right? Where is it possible, if something comes and sweeps everything away, where can I go? That could be this sense of safety box, or like like the summer house in the mountains, the secondary savings, things like that. I don't know if this makes sense to you, and well, by all means, you may not. This thing about Virgo, just if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter really. What matters is if you recognize this. Like, do you have this? Like, do you have this? Is that a part of your... Because it's interesting when you look at the first signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. I believe that most of these signs, if they are more like functioning rather healthy, they are more risk takers. There's more immediate joy here. Like, it's like they don't have the same, unless of course they have been influenced by like pressure, right? But and overwhelming toxicity or abuse or something. But if they haven't, they are more inclined to just go for things, to just try, to just enjoy it. Then Virgos come in, and Virgo do have times of like good times, and then there is this potential doom that can come, right? And sometimes it's even a shock to the Virgos, because they know they have done everything, like they have really tried, they have been dieting, they have been like, they live to always keep a high standard of something. That like in most Virgos, they have this idea of like keeping things up, trying to keep it up as much as possible, but eventually something may come in, right? And something shifts. And I believe that the signs that come after Virgo and after, especially maybe the first ones after, they have been dealing with what I call the aftermath, the shocking aftermath of a shift, right? The shocking aftermath of a shift. And this is it's not something that is, so especially you and Scorpio, I feel like that you stand with the aftermath of a shocking event, which is the reason why you are, that this is here. You are the feminine version, Scorpio the masculine. So we will see in the next reading what comes up, if that is still here. But if you recognize this, that at your base, in your Libra mind and heart, that there is something like this, that this is true somehow, that you do have a tendency to want to like secure yourself, secure those that are around you, savings for you, savings for your children, a prenup maybe when you get married, a clear contract, perhaps, like you want to know what the deal is. And then there's this here that potentially could rock the boat or challenge this, perhaps, because it's like it's over. It's like it has that this is underneath everything. And you see, if you have this underneath, even if this is subconscious and that you haven't really thought about this, it's ruling something. Your decisions, your choices, maybe your choice of partners, how you live. Like, do you live, let's say you live high up. Do you have a house where you live up because you want to avoid a tsunami flood, right? Or have you made choices that somehow put you, you live in the mountains, right? You don't live by the sea, where the waves can come in, like, or any other kind of precaution. You don't live near any potential natural disasters like a volcano, or big rivers, or as I said, by the sea. Do you get my point? Like, avoiding that, there can be an avoidance here, like something you want to avoid. You want to avoid destruction, right? Because there's a memory, like a memory that I have been flying here over the flood that killed or destroyed everything I knew, even took some of my friends away, even took my living places, my nest, my, maybe my children who couldn't fly yet. Does that make sense? Like that underneath there is a fear. Like the gatherer does and acts like they do out of fear, out of a memory here, right? A memory that is now making them gather something. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. Like they would expect that tomorrow is the same as yesterday, right? But the gatherer is it's like a memory of a time or of something that potentially could destroy something. That's why I gather. That's why I do the things I do. That's why I go to the markets and look for special things that I know are worth a lot of money or could potentially be it. You know, like what's that called? Objects that if you have enough of them or you have the complete set of them, then it has a lot of value, right? Or I'm just putting it out here, like something like when the Pokemon cards came for sale from Japan. In the beginning, it was just this new kind of interest. This was a new child's game or something, right? But today it's actually that some of these cards are worth a lot of money. It's just a card, like a cardboard card, right? But if it's rare enough, that could also be what this is. If that you look like rarity, if you know about rare things, you select it and you take it home and gather it, right? Because if I have enough of it, I know that if I would sell it, I could get money and it could help me in bad times. So there could be a sense of like a Five of Pentacles with this one, right? Like a Five of Pentacles card. Five of Pentacles or Four of Pentacles is like this worrying card, right? A worrying that something potentially could go wrong, so I'm making my precaution here. This is like securing or making precaution before the Five of Pentacles. But because when the Five of Pentacles arrives, this is where I have lost everything. I'm out in the cold. I have no money, no shelter, no home, no food, nothing, right? So this could be a bit of like a Four of Pentacles perhaps here. Precaution, right? I'm trying to avoid the Five of Pentacles. The loss. This is, the gatherer is preventing loss, right? It's a precaution. And there could be clever ways, as I said, you could be like having insurance, you could let's say you store certain things not at home or in your garage, you have a security box for it, or you have somewhere else where you are and if you make investments here, like money investments, you are quite particular about them, right? You don't rush into anything. Like you make sure you check. You double check, you check Trustpilot, you know, all the, like that kind of thing. So that you are not like wasting your money, or that your supply here, what you have gathered, is wasted somehow. Does that make sense? Something like that, that's what I get here. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck, why this is here, the Council. Interesting. The Council as at the bottom of the deck here. So the council would normally be like a very strong spiritual connection, a higher guidance, like again air energy here, for you, a strong intuition guiding you, telling you to maybe gather up here. Like maybe you have like a strong intuition here about that tells you to gather up, or to buckle up a little bit, or to well, the council could talk about like legal system, right? It could, normally I see this as a very spiritual card, like higher beings guiding you, ancestral influence, maybe a guardian angel, quite very white, very pure, very intelligent, very clear, like a clear message to gather up here. So again, make a precaution, be cautious. Maybe you feel that at this time, but I am reading about core energies at the moment. And of course, you will either recognize this or you won't. Like it will not be for everyone, right? But if you as a Libra have this, and you have a strong intuition to kind of be cautious here, make preparations, make sure you have your base in order, right? That you are secured in some way. That is what I feel like the gatherer does. It secures itself for bad times. If something should come up, if something should threaten me, or my family, or my relationships, or something, I am the one that probably is more cautious then, right? And I think it's because you know, like there's something you just know, that you have to secure a base because something could come, right? That's the whole idea after the Virgo, right? That after the flood on Earth, where most of Earth surface was covered with water, like there were only very little land to land on as a bird here. There was not much food for a little bird. That's also when birds learned how to catch fish, I want to say, how to like do these dives down to get the fish in the water. That is you here. Like this is a buckling up, finding ways to secure yourself, right? This could be also adaptation. The gathering is an adaptation. It's because there's something else in the midst now, and therefore I'm changing my ways, how to get myself supplied here in some way. Does that make sense? Like maybe you were wondering if you should, with a strong intuition here, find other maybe income ways, or other ways of securing yourself. But then there's this that is kind of just let's have a look. Earth magic, fearlessness, removing obstacles. Well, and like as I just said, you are not someone perhaps at your core here who would be fearless and remove obstacles. Yes, removing obstacles is a great thing. It's just being fearless and disregarding your intuition here is maybe in itself an obstacle. Like it doesn't, like being fearless and brave and taking risks, and carpe diem, here I come. I just throw myself into it, and let's see what happens. Maybe that's not maybe that's not exactly. And it could be someone here again. Leo energy would perhaps do this. Like there could be quite fierce. It says earth magic here, but fearlessness, removing obstacles. I feel like fearlessness can remove obstacles, I think. Having precaution, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily, but it's a survival thing. And if something has at some point threatened you, or it's kind of just a part of your bloodline, you may need to become aware of it, because there's a fear here. And if you deep down have fears, but you try to present as a risk taker, or you are brave and you are fearless, and you just want to remove all obstacles in your way, you want to have the best, you want to, just throw yourself into it and see what happens. Like she just puts herself in the driver's seat here and takes off. She doesn't know where she's going. She doesn't know where she's ending. She has no travel insurance, right? She doesn't even have maybe food with her. She's just going. She's just going here. As I said, Leo energy can be about it can be about bravery, it can be about go-getter energy, confidence, drive, vitality. This is what I want, this is my goal, so I'm just gonna go and do it, right? And of course, I feel like it's there, but there is a catch or a sacrifice here, or something that you may need to be aware of. And maybe it's this dynamic here, that in order for you to have maybe a free life or a fearless life, you have to become aware of the fear. Like you have to become aware of this safety seeker here, the cautious one. The cautious one, well, it's a security measure, right? It's the safety seat or the safety belt. This is someone who puts on a safety belt, and this one won't. Like they always put on a helmet when they sit on a bike. They don't. Do you see the difference? Like it's like these two are. Maybe right now, maybe you feel that you could be, there could be someone around you who say, well, let's go horseback riding today, right? But you would say, okay, then we need to get the equipment, our boots, our helmet, maybe a back, a back shield, like you use on a motorbike also. I don't know if riders here use that, but this one don't. Like this is like an Indian, right? They don't even have a saddle. They just throw themselves into it here with a fearless, enthusiastic, motivated, inspired, jolly, happy time, right? But you see, the Leo is also before Virgo. The Leo represents the golden age, where like everything was golden, everything was blossoming, everything was like the highest abundance you could ever have. So the highest abundance here, like there is a catch to it, right? There's a catch, and that's what I feel like. It's like it's circling you, or it's maybe it's provoking you or daring you to have a look at what this is. What is this about? Like, do you have a particular memory in your own life where this has manifested itself? An accident, a death, someone particular leaving you, where you felt you had no safety net. You were left alone. You were without help. You were, and therefore this is there. Like this is an energy that says, but I have to make sure to have this, because I can't rely on someone else, or I can't rely. That's what I say about the feminine energy on earth, that the feminine energy had to at some point to become more masculinized. Like the feminine energy cannot flow freely when it has to think about potential disasters. Like then it becomes worried, right? It can't relax. It can't breathe. It can't flow freely when it has to look over its shoulder and be, on guard here. This is an energy that is a bit on guard. Like they always use the safety belt and the helmet, right? They are fully insured. They, you get my point, right? I have explained it, right? And this is an energy that is fearlessness, right? Removing obstacles. Just go, right? It would say, just go. Just go. Just get yourself into it. Let's try the roller coaster, right? Let's go skydiving, right? And this one would say, no, I'm not. Well, I have to prepare myself. I have to prepare myself for this. It's like these two, the conversation they have is, so well, Libra, let's see. Like there could be a Leo here. Again, like the full moon and it's like you could be, like, because sometimes I think that this energy, as I said, the feminine energy can't flow freely if we have to worry. Like feminine energy that is worrying can't flow freely. It doesn't feel safe here. And I think for most feminine deep down, if they have this feeling, and if they have buckled up, they have this secured themselves, they have become a bit more masculine in the way they think. Organized, structured, intelligent, educated, and so on. And that is a masculine trait. For the feminine to flow freely, there has to be safety. Calm, safety, and you would say a promise that it's not going to change, a promise of security and safety, a promise of that everything, all this bad stuff, or all this that could potentially threaten me, this insecurity, that it's gone, it's away, right? It's not there. It's not there. Then I don't have to be a gatherer here. then I could maybe be the counsel here. Then I could maybe be just in my intuition, maybe just shining brightly here. My feminine energy. I relax, I become open, I'm a receptive. Here you can become a bit avoidant, like and cautious. There is not the same trust here. Where this one, they trust that nothing bad is going to happen. They just throw themselves into it. They go for it, right? There's an enthusiasm. They don't even think, they don't worry, this one. They don't worry. Like they just throw themselves in there. Carpe diem, right? Here I come, Geronimo. I just throw myself in there and we'll see what happens, right? Where this one doesn't. They would buckle up. Again, you could see how she sits here with the it's like she's hiding, right? She has adapted herself to nature. She has feathers to, you could say, blend in, like to blend in with nature. She has, her precaution is like her color, her pale skin, the rusty red hair, the face paint here, the feathers, the pumpkins, the leaves here. Like she's trying to blend in, to adapt, to blend in, and not really stand out necessarily here. Where this one, they don't care, right? They just throw themselves in the saddle and get going. Like the blending in here is a way of, not being eaten by like predators perhaps. This is where you can blend in and look like a bush, or you can blend in and avoid being attacked perhaps by something here. But this one, they don't care. They just throw themselves into it, into the spotlight. They don't think about it. Like they're just, and there is maybe, like either someone is challenging you, or like someone like this is around you challenging your, I want to say maybe some primary fears here perhaps. That it could be right in your face, like a come on, let's go, right? Like they don't have a saddle, they don't have a helmet. They just throw themselves into it. They have no food. There's no insurance. For you it seems reckless. I think like this can seem like a reckless lifestyle, a reckless behavior, inorganized. It's it seems reckless, I think, for you. And like not responsible, not responsible and reckless. That could be what this is. But at the same time, you could say, like, which is best? I don't know. This can be one side of you that is longing to be reckless, that is longing to just go out there and just do whatever you want. This one would be fed up with organization and insurance and helmets everywhere and safety belts and all kinds of precautions. Like precautions are limiting them. Like that are really obstacles for someone like this, right? They can't feel free and be happy and just enjoy themselves and take the risks that they take if you constantly have to have a safety belt on, or if you constantly have to, always be like, they don't care if it's raining. They just go, right? Where you would put on your rain boots and raincoat and umbrella, and you would maybe even bring with you, like in a plastic bag, some dry clothes, because maybe you got soaking wet and you wanted to, be able to have warm or dry clothes on and be warm again. Where this one, they don't care about that. Like, they just go, right? They just throw themselves out there. For the fun of it, for the adventure of it. Like, they could be adventurous here. They haven't, they haven't experienced something as challenging as this one. Like, the fun of life, the joy of life, this is someone who have never broken a leg, and you may have fallen down and broken all, 40 bones in your body. You know what it means to fall down and break 40 bones and have several kinds of surgeries and all this stuff. That's why you buckle up. That's why you put the helmet on. That's why you do that. This one, they haven't. They may even not have broken one bone before, right? They haven't, it's like they haven't had that of a discouraging experience. That's why they do the way they do. That's why they seem reckless to you. They haven't been thrown to the ground in that way. Does that make sense? That's why they do. But you could be attracted to someone like that. Because in a part of them are free, right? They are free. They just do it. They don't have limitations. They don't have security belts. They don't have that. Where you may have it, and maybe you even have too much of it. As I said, I heard the word hoarding also. So that could be where you have this a lot, right? Because you may have been thrown to the ground. You have been standing there without money. You have been like living off, nothing. You learned to as a bird to dive and catch fish, where you normally would have maybe lived on land and looked for corn and things like that as a bird once. But when the flood came, you had to adapt to it. Where this one is someone who doesn't adapt, right? They have a goal that is their primary goal, and they go for it. They don't settle for second best. They are not adapting to a new environment. They stick to their plan. And it's because they haven't felt the flood. Like, they haven't felt that their primary objective was gone. That's the difference between these two here. Like, for them, everything exists. For you, something is gone. And therefore, you are adapting, or have been adapting, and is still adapting, and is still cautious. Because what if there's more coming. While this one is not even thinking about a storm, right? They don't know a storm exists. That's how they see the world. Well, maybe they have experienced something, but they don't see it like it's not something that should take their enthusiasm away. Like they have a different way of maybe getting through things, or but I think you get my point. This could be a child, right? That is challenging you in how they proceed, or they want to proceed in life. They have never fallen down the stairs, you know. They've never had that concussion. They have never been to the ER, you know. They've never. That's the energy here. They have never been thrown to the ground like you have, or like you have a memory of. They don't have the same memory embedded in them. They have a different memory, that everything is possible. It's right there. You can just go and get it, right? Where you don't have that. Just let me know if this makes sense. Right? So there could be a sense of a bit of a more lack mentality here. And this could be a sense that, but everything is available. Earth magic, everything is here. You just go and get it. You just go out and get it, right? So there could be an energy here that is differently composed than you. They're differently composed, or like the DNA is different than yours. The DNA memories are different than yours. Does that make sense? Like something like that. And they could be, maybe they are literally, as I say, in your face here right now. And dealing with them is like there is a sacrifice with having this around. Like they are. It could be that the rift here, or the mark here, is maybe they are too rigid. Like maybe reckless or rigid, or too enthusiastic, too like, and that it could be how you see them, right? You see them as too reckless, too maybe childish, too risk-taking. As I said, this could be, let's say, a money opportunity, or an investment opportunity, and it just seems too risky somehow to deal with this, to be like totally fearless here and just go for it, seems too much, right? It pushes you, I think, like it pushes your limits here. They're pushing your limits. And what can happen, especially during Capricorn season, could be that you remember something here. That you remember being pushed to the limit at some point. And that could be what they're doing. Maybe that's why I had this feeling that it's a crossing card, right? It has a sense of a negative or a challenging effect on you, because it pushes your limits here, right? But at the same time, you know, a part of you may be a bit envious here. A part of you would like to be free like that. A part of you would like not to always buckle up or think about the safety belt. Because you are Venus, a part of you wants to flow freely like this. That's maybe why you are attracted to them, and at the same time they are challenging like your core here. Something that you may, carry here in you, with you. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck for this one here, right? So it says the beloved. Yes, the beloved is the other one. This could be your sweetheart, your loved one, your spouse, your partner, and they are your beloved because they are like this. Like if, let's say you said, okay, I go with you, right? I sit on this horseback with you. I ride towards the sunrise. I ride into the sunrise with you. No looking back. I just go for it. I become this fearless person, and I trust you, and I just go for this, right? Because they are your beloved here. But this makes it even more interesting because usually the beloved can be exactly that, our opposite. Opposites attract, right? We can become attracted to those who are different than us because they represent our rescue, you could say. They represent the thing that can heal us or rescue us. And they have a way of living their life that is maybe a part of you thinks it's rigid. A part of you thinks it's risky. It's very risky, or it's irresponsible, right? It's unreliable maybe, but at the same time it is the one for you, right? It is the one for you. Like they are your sweetheart here. This is the one you love. At the same time, I feel like it's in your face, and you can't just, like, this is here, right? It's like you can't quite ignore it. That even though you want to flow freely, even though you want to just relax and just enjoy yourself and just, like go for the ride, go for the romantic ride, or lean into the crush of something with someone here. There is something here that is cautioning you, right? The next card out here, I have the King of Water here. And it's interesting how I said the flood, right? King of Water here. I even get something like memory lane here, like maybe once you did do this. You threw yourself into the arms of your beloved here, and you were riding towards the sunrise with them here, right? But then something else happened, right? This could be the energies around you. He could represent the flood, right? Like he could represent this is a King of Cups. Usually a King of Cups could be the beloved here, right? Maybe you would like this one to be more like this, right? Someone who cares. Someone who is more watery, maybe who understand sensitivities, or may understand, more compassionate maybe, or I'm just thinking about your opposite sign right now. Virgo is Pisces. I guess your opposite would be Aries. This could definitely be an Aries, right? This one. Or Aries, like I said, Leo, still fire energy. Maybe a Leo who acts like an Aries. That would be a bit more reckless then. Very impulsive, very or an immature Leo energy, right? It could be impulsive. It could be like stubborn, impulsive, my way or the highway kind of energy. And it may seem reckless, irresponsible, unreliable. Like Aries energy usually goes where it wants. And it doesn't matter if it leaves behind a lot of mess to be cleared up. Like it just, oh, this is fun. Oh, this is fun. Oh, this is fun. And they leave behind something. This can be a bit of like an in and out energy. They come in, they can light up everything, you know. This can be maybe to a sense of like an immature Leo energy could come across as a player energy. Like they come in for the fun and then they're gone, right? And they leave something behind. They leave, you know, the dirty dinner plates and the red wine glasses. Or they leave behind, you know, like a messy living room after a giant party. And you could then be the one who is now cleaning everything up, right? So they come in for the fun of something and they leave when something is more like we have to, you know, like get things together again, right? We don't want the mess. That could be what and I want to say immature, and maybe that's why there is a catch here, right? Or a rift in what I think could be like a Leo full moon here coming up. It could be, you know, like it comes in like with the Leo full moon. There could be this feeling maybe someone is coming back. Mercury is retrograding. Sometimes people come back in our lives. They show up or we meet them in the street. Maybe this is someone you had a crush on here, right? You had a crush on them or you love them, right? But there's always a catch with them, you know, like could be like a player energy. But they have this way of freeing you, right? Like when you are with them, you could feel freed from this. They have a way of, you know, like creating this imaginary realm where you can just take off and be fearless here. Like when you are with them, it's like they lend you a bit of their fearlessness and you can forget this for a bit of time, you know? That's why you can't seem to maybe maybe that's why you can't seem to forget them, right? because a part of you would like to flow freely. A part of you would like to, I don't know, be reckless, but be free, right? Be free to express yourself. Be free in how you conduct your life. Be free of the safety belt. That you don't even need the safety belt. You could say that if this one can somehow make you feel that there is no worry, like there is no trouble. They have a way of seducing you, or they are selling you something, like they sell you a dream here. They sell you it's like they're selling you their vision of life, where everything is possible, right? And for a moment, if you're with them here, it's like for a moment you may forget about this. That's why you can't, that's why they are this to you, right? It's like you get a glimpse of their world. And in their world, there is no obstacle. In their world, there is no danger. There is not even an existence of like a global forest fire or the flood or the ice age. It's like it doesn't exist here, right? All these, you could say, devastating possibilities, they don't have that. That's why they it's like lending a few hours of their way of seeing the world. That's why you can't let go of them somehow, right? That's why you imagine them, right? That's why they when you are maybe, like tuning into their energy, it makes you feel safe. It makes you relax. Like that's what they can give you, right? They have this way of, it's almost like a fantasy realm, an imaginary realm, or a computer game, or a computer world, where when you put your VR glasses on and you log into your account, in this realm, there are no worries. In this realm, everything is possible. In this realm, I am this, I'm this fierce superwoman, or I'm this fearless adventurer. I'm Indiana Jones here. I am, or I am in the realm I'm in, offers no worries. It's the golden age. Here everything is abundant. There is no lack here. There's nothing here, right? That's what they offer. And that's maybe, it's like it's, I don't know, around you, or like maybe you meet them, like in the street, like you see them, like you look each other in the eye here, right? You may look each other in the eye. They come, they maybe they, like they just pass you on their motorbike here, right? And you just see this free spirit, I feel like I want to say, like a free spirit. And you feel more like you are maybe the bird in the cage, right? Not daring to free yourself because you have a memory here that you can't seem to not have. Maybe this is subconscious. You're not even aware of it. And meeting this one, gets you to become aware. like meeting someone like this is like a catalyst. It becomes like a mirror, because they have such a strange way of conducting their life in your eyes, right? They are reckless, they are unreliable, they are maybe rigid, they don't think about risks, they are free of that. And a part of you thinks that they are an idiot, maybe, or they are a that they are foolish, that how they conduct them, it's like you know something they don't, right? That but it's the way they see life. It's the way they it could be that maybe you've met them once. As I said, they could be in your past, but then it's like suddenly they are closer. Suddenly they are closer. Maybe it's like you literally see them go by on a motorbike or and you just have eye contact. And they're reckless, or well, I say reckless, they don't think it's reckless. They're just having a good time, right? They don't think it's reckless. But in your eyes, it may seem like that. It's just what they are doing is they are mirroring to you a different way of living, right? A different way of existence. And because you don't have that, like you are a bit more buckled up here, a part of you thinks that they are reckless, and at the same time, I don't think you can get them out of your mind. Because if you could have a life like that, you would be free to flow, right? To flow and be Venus. When I look at this card here, because this is the next card that is on the table here, King of Water, but for some reason I'm very drawn to the little fish here and how he just opened his hand, like, come little fishy here, come little fishy and play with me, right? He can come across as a father, right? That is just like wanting to play or be adoring to the little fish here. Like this could be a bit like Poseidon, right? The god of the sea. And he loves the fish. He loves the mermaids. This is his kingdom. He adores everything that is here, right? That could be what you think about, that you would like him to adore you, right? But the little fish, the little fish has to trust Poseidon, right? The little fish has to trust Poseidon. And know, like the little fish has to know that Poseidon is a good, like a good one? How do I know if this is truly Poseidon or just someone who is acting like it is, right? And I've talked about like Pisces energy and fish energy before. It's like the fish is the, and Pisces is the oldest water sign, but it's also the only water sign without any armor. There are no shell and no claws or no toxic tail. Like the and that is what makes the Pisces special, because Pisces has to trust entirely on the intuition. So if I get too close to something that is way too big for me to handle, I will be destroyed, I will be killed. This little fishy here has to trust, utterly trust its intuition, that when I move myself or swim towards Poseidon here, that I'm safe, right? And I think this is what it's about in your reading. It's about, how can I swim towards something if I'm not sure that it's a trusting matter, I think. Do you trust them enough to be with them? Do you trust do you trust that you could lay some of your security measures down? Like, can you live a life where you take some of the security measures away here? Some of your precautions. Precautions are usually also because we're not sure. We can't trust that the future is going to be safe. So there is a mistrust here, a not trusting. This means that, how do you change that if you want to be more free? How do you change a memory that you've had that somehow got you now to sit like this, to be like? How do you change a memory of like a survival threat into a non-survival, like, or ever thriving, always safe existence? Like, how do I come from this more, or at least maybe finding a middle ground, but how do I get more from this to this? How can I put some of my security measures down? Because if this is my truly beloved, if this is the one I love, and the freedom that I long for, then I have to, right? I have to somehow put my security measures down, my what ifs. How can I make sure that the one I am swimming towards here, how can I become sure enough? How can I rely enough on my guidance here that I'm swimming towards someone who actually can protect me as the little fish here? How can I have an open heart with no armor and swim towards you could say, King of Water can talk about love. It can talk about the greatest love. So I swim towards the greatest love here. But how can I be sure that I'm safe here? How do I overcome my fear, perhaps, of vulnerability, maybe? How do I overcome that? See here the Five of Fire here. Five of Fire is a bit like what I talked about. Five of Wands is usually a card of what I call childhood trauma. Fighting, struggle, being beaten, right? Being beaten by life. Maybe being beaten by willpowers here, because it is fire. And fire can suggest that, that there are many different people with different wills and different temperament or different sets of anger or something like that. And when you play with them or when you interact with them, maybe you didn't have, you are an air sign, right? Maybe you didn't have, the same amount of fire to resist a pressure. This is Five of Fire is usually because we fawned or we bowed down or we were beaten by something that was very difficult to handle and usually happened in childhood. It made us smaller or anxious. Maybe it took you, or it has the feeling of it that you can't defend yourself against it, that you are powerless. And because of that, well, you could have a tendency of procrastination, perhaps, and not, not trusting yourself when you are when you are around something with a lot of fire, and this is fire energy. So you could say that there could be maybe you have been around Leo energy here, right? And Leo energy has to be on top. It's highly competitive. It has to win. It wants to win. And it will keep on trying to win so that it will be number one. And you could have been around someone like that, right? Who was always challenging, like, you could say, the role in the family, perhaps, or the role with peers, right? They were always challenging, and you knew perhaps you couldn't fight them, right? So you became second or third or fourth here. And that would make sense with this energy, right? That you learned how to blend in, but you also knew that you didn't have like to secure yourself in your adult life, perhaps away from these. You had to adapt. You had to find like ways to secure yourself. And here you had no way of securing yourself. You are at the mercy of something here. And maybe you feel like you are at the mercy of them as well here. Like it all depends on, I feel like, because this is, as again, it's a very strong-willed energy. It goes where it wants to go. There's no negotiation here. Like, they don't really negotiate. They go where they want to have, like, they go for the fun. They go for what they want. They maybe where they can have the most abundant outcome, where, you know, they go towards the biggest applause, the most joyous fun, the greatest party, the biggest spotlight, the biggest fame, and they can leave a mess behind. You know, they leave something behind, perhaps. They can be quick here, quick moving, quick in, quick out. They could be a bit self-oriented, self-serving, perhaps here, but very fearless and very like they don't accept obstacles, right? They would just run right through it. There are no closed gates here, right? But you know what closed gates are like, right? You know what that is like. You know what, like, a final no is. And you know that if you go up against it, it will just throw you to the ground. So you see, you could be in love with someone here, and they are your beloved here. They represent everything that you are not, right? But the point is that there is a catch to this, right? There's something you have to discover about this, because is it truly making you happy here? They do represent I feel like the rescue, perhaps, for you. Like the safety zone. Like, if you could just merge with them here, you would have a much more free, maybe a much more safe feeling in life. Maybe it's almost like you wish you could just adopt their style, because then you would be more free, right? You wouldn't fear anything. You would just go there. You would just throw yourself into life. There would be no precautions. There are no safety measures. There's no, but this can be a more chaotic energy, right? In your eyes, this is a chaotic energy, where maybe you are realizing that I have to feel safe. Like, safety is an absolute must for me. That what I am engaging is exactly like when I was a child, right? What I have been engaging with is exactly when I was a child. It's all about willpower. It's all about competition, or it's all about, like, they don't. I wish them to be like this. I wish them to be more watery here, right? I said that the air signs. I said that you, Libra, after Virgo, the birds were primarily some of the animals that survived the flood. So you could say you could be the, and you learned, like, the birds adapted to, like, learning to hunt. You would say hunt for fish, right? And fish may have become your primary source of food, actually, during that time, right? But it was a necessity. it was a survival measure. Before the flood, you may have indulged in everything that earth could offer, right? Before the flood, there were corn and there were berries, and the birds could dine differently. They could have different food. They could build nests in the trees. During the flood, there were maybe very, very little land and very little treetops, you know. Maybe you are more a friend of the sea, actually. You know, when something becomes too, maybe a bit aggressive here, even if it's alluring, even if it is so appealing here, and it's, you know, it offers like a moment of safety. It offers a moment of like utter freedom, right? You could find yourself actually becoming anxious and unsure about this. And it could become even more apparent, like maybe you find yourself at the moment actually tuning more and more into this energy, right? More and more into the, like what happened, right? What happened once? What happened when I was a child? Or why do I have these feelings? Why do I always live life with such security measures? Why is that important to me? Sometimes I believe that when children grow up in environments where there is a very reckless behavior, like the parents are, you could say, irreliable or unreliable, they are not presenting a safe environment for the children to grow up in. The children can sometimes become overly reliable, like they are looking for reliability, like they look for stability, they look for a safe, you could say, stable home. They are wanting to recreate a stable home so that they can feel safe, because they didn't feel safe here, right? And you could stand in front of a partner here who is maybe your spouse or your husband here, or reverse gender, then maybe a wife, but you see, it's the same turmoil. It's the same turmoil you went through when you grew up. And when you are around, then your need for security and safety helmets and safety belts and raincoats and savings in the bank become more and more and more and more. The more unreliable they are here, even though it represents maybe a sense of freedom also, the more you buckle up. Because it reminds you of something you have already experienced. It reminds you of when something went wrong, or when something was very unstable, and when I had no say in it. I couldn't change the circumstances, but now you can change circumstances, right? You just have to know your fear, or you have to know why you want certain things. And you can say, that what they bring to the table, even if you're married to them, right, is maybe not, it's not giving you that safety. Yes, they do represent maybe the sense of freedom, but you are not them, right? You are you, right? And it means that like your existence is determining now where you find that peace. Where do you find that safety, right? Maybe, like meeting them, even though, it's like they are my greatest love here. And I love them dearly. They are also a mirror of your own insecurities. But you see, and they are reminding you of what may have happened and why you seek this sense of security, why it is important to you. It's because the sense of security is a safety measure. Like for you to be able to flow freely as a Venus energy, you need safety. So you can't be with someone who's not giving you that. Again, there is something to be gained with this, but there's definitely also a catch here, a rift in the surface, right? So maybe what you are learning from this is, I need to be like the fish. I need to be able to, like, slowly but surely swim towards something here. A big love here. But it has to be watery, right? It has to be, I have to feel safe. My intuition has to tell me that this is okay. They have to show me that they are not a threat. Like they have to show me what love is. What is, the King of Water could suggest, what is true love? Like, you're learning about true love here. What is that exactly? Maybe you're realizing I can't be around fire. Fire is not helping me, right? I want something watery here. I want something considerate, compassionate, kind. I want something loving. I don't want to be in a competition or a struggle, even though I understand that they also, like the freedom that they exude is appealing to me. It's intoxicating. It's like a drug. It allows me for a few moments or a few hours when I'm with them here to feel free and safe and just relax. Open up and just be free flowing. But when they leave again, then I'm right back here. I need something else, right? I need them also to understand, right? This is more self-serving, more I go where I want to go. But what if where you want to go? You have certain needs here, and they may just, let's say they're just addressing the fun, the play, the sex, the lust here. But you have certain needs. You need something else here as well, right? You need you need a consciousness that is caring, that is willing to see you at your most vulnerable state and care for you, be there for you, love you anyway. That's what the King of Water is. Like, he doesn't necessarily wear his emotion on his sleeves, but he's a very, very caring, very considerate, very compassionate king. You need a king, right? You don't need a page or an immature energy, right? Like, as alluring as they can be, it doesn't give you, actually it highlights why you put on the safety belt. Like, you can see the lure of them. Like, they are asking you to play with them. They're asking you to be like childlike again, worryless. That's why you probably got attracted to them. But at the same time, the way they are living their life, the risks they take, the investments they make, how they throw themselves into things, not thinking about it, that makes you unstable, right? It makes you anxious. You see here, I wanted another card on the gatherer here. I gave the 5 of Swords. Like, the 5 of Swords is a card, or again another 5 card here. 5 of Fire, 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is feeling alone. I feel like. We see in the background here, like, that's what I feel like. It's like they can come in here and they can throw the biggest party, but then when they are gone, you see, one is laying here totally unconscious, and one is sitting here bowed down. It's like an exhaustion. 5 of Swords would usually also suggest that Five are never good cards, right? It's a card of worrying, feeling betrayed, maybe feeling lied to, or again, I feel like they could sell you sand in Sahara, right? They are great salesmen here. They are a good future fakers. Like, they can sell you anything with their words, perhaps, or with their glow, with their allure, right? But still, you feel that it's, as I said, reckless, rigid, unreliable. It's what happens when the fire has burned out? You know, what happens when the food is used? What happens when... This could be someone who overspends. Like, they're reckless with their money, right? They're reckless with... in your eyes, they are reckless with their money. Like, what happens when the money is used? When the firewood is used, what happens when there's no more drinking water, right? What happens when all your money is used here? You use them on reckless partying, or, you know, something like that. But at the same time, there is something about them that is appealing, right? It's the freedom, how they can just not think about it. How they don't worry, like they're not worrying about downs. Like, they don't worry about downfall or falling or doom. Like, they don't worry about doom. And you sit here and you're just thinking, how can they not worry about doom, right? How can they not worry about doom? You may even see that they are on, everything they do is leading them to the doom. And I'm trying to prevent it here, right? Realizing, yeah, I love them. I love them dearly. This, again, it could be your child here, right? Could be a child, a sibling, right? I love them dearly. I carry their heart here, right? But at the same time, there is a big catch here. It's almost like you may see them as they are marked for doom, because what they are doing is so fearless, or in your eyes maybe reckless. Like you could sit here with the feeling, I'm the one who is now going to gather the pieces. I could be the one who, when the party is over, when the money has been used, when they have fallen to the ground here, right? When they are unconscious from the party drinking or whatever, I will be the one who gathers the pieces. I'm the one who is, you would say, you could be more of a gloomy thinker, right? You could be more of the one that is the what if or when, like when you have used all your money, you will run to me, right? You will come running to me because you have no safety belt, or you have nothing to fall back on. You have no saving. You have no, you don't have this. You don't have no shelter, right? And that could be what they feel like to you, right? That there's both, right? That there's both. Like the free spirit is appealing to you, but at the same time you see that their behavior is like an indisputable path towards doom, right? And you could fear, or you could sit here and think, yeah, but I could be the one who will be needing to get them up again, right? The horse is here and they lay beside it are unconscious. Like this is just like home with my alcoholic parents or something here, right? This is just like home with my alcoholic parents, or I'm the one who is now like cleaning. I'm the one who, and that could be the memories, like that the memories here of, they remind that memories of this, like the interaction here reminds you of something where you were the one who was now cleaning or calling for help if your parents were unconscious from drinking, or if there has been abuse, you would be the one who came in with the bandage and calling 911, or something like that. You would be the one who would lie to your fellow schoolmates about what was going on at home. You would be the one who was forced to lie, perhaps, or forced to pretend something, right? And at the same time, you love them, right? At the same time, you love them, you care for them. Again, this could be a sibling, Sometimes what happens for children that grow up in abusive, toxic home, one can become the caretaker and one can become the risk taker. So you may be sitting here, Libra, being the caretaker or the mother of maybe a brother or a sister here. but they turn out differently like you. They become reckless in their behavior. They become promiscuous, maybe. They experiment with. They are all about partying and being, you say fearless here, but maybe reckless. Like in your eyes, they are reckless, right? And maybe you don't know what to do about it. So for like the energy here between you, I get the Six of Raphael here. Six of Raphaels would be like the Six of Cups. Embrace your inner child, new friends or rekindle relationships, children or childhood. So there could be someone, as I said, they could pass you on the street, on their motorbike. This could be someone you had a crush on when you were a child, your best childhood friend. But there's a way about them. And they could show up around the full moon, the upcoming full moon for you. They were your best friend, right? They were your best friend in childhood. You felt so safe with them and so good. Like the 6 here indicates like nostalgic, happy memories of something. But what you don't, but that is not what you have, or something has changed here. You want this back with them, but I don't think that they bring that to the table here. It's not what I get. Like actually they just highlight this, right? This is what they give you now, but you remember them differently. Like you remember them when you were good together. Like you remember them when you were good together here. When you were having but again, 6 of Cups, like it's like the cup, there's something cup watery missing, right, in the relationship. It's too fiery here, or too risky. It's like they have lost the cups in some way. They are utterly, like they could be an addict here. They could, any kind of addict, like they could have a reckless, it seems fearless, but I want to say, and again they are awakening this is the driver card. This is what is leading into this. Once everything was like this, and that is what you remember here. This is what you want to rekindle. This is how you would like it to be, right? But I get the feeling they're not. Well, they are this, right? And they can bring this safety feeling to you. But something has happened, right? Because the 5 of Swords indicates something else. Maybe someone is coming back here. Someone you once had a crush on, or you loved them. They may come in hot and feisty here. There is a catch. But you have memories together. Like you have history with them, right? You have history with them. They could come in here, but I feel like there's a catch here. There is a catch. Full moon indicate and Leo energy. Full moon indicates like coming full circle, coming back, rekindling something. I just have the feeling that it's going to challenge where you are now, and they could come in so, like so fiercely or so abrupt that it's going to challenge maybe your readiness to kind of interact with them, I feel like. Like, I really don't, they would regard themselves as fearless. You may regard them as reckless. But that's not how they see themselves, right? They see themselves as just in their nature. Maybe they are very much in their nature, and maybe that's also a part you like, where you are more buckled up here, perhaps, right? That maybe you like that they are maybe natural, like they have a natural expression, perhaps. Maybe they are very honest, Maybe they just put everything on the table. Like maybe they have very open cards here. And maybe you like that. Like, that's what I think, like you liked this about them. But at the same time, putting everything on the table, being very open and very, maybe, again, you may find it reckless. Maybe they play with very open cards. They are not hiding anything. Maybe you feel they are too trusting or too open or too honest, but at the same time you like it about them, right? There is also something about this idea that she has a fish tail and this one has legs. Like, you are opposites, right? This is like a fish being and this is a land creature, right? It's like you are opposites, and you are also you're opposites, and then at the same time you have this like a best friend, from childhood, from kindergarten, from school. And sometimes opposites attract, also children do, because they balance each other out. And that's why you love them also, because they do, like, they take some of your precaution and fear away by being very free, right? They are challenging you to be a little more free, to dare something. And at the same time, you can give them a bit of caution, right? You could give them a bit of caution so they don't fall down the tree, right? That's sometimes how, like, children and also adults can balance each other out, right? But I see you as you need to be able to be, like, to trust totally here and have no armor, right? You need a bit of water here. Or you're learning about water, right? You're learning about what may have been missing in your childhood and why you need this safety zone now, why this is necessary for you, and they have to understand that. Like, you can swim further out here in the sea, or you can go further into the forest. You have to know your way back, right? And they have to accept that. Like they can't, it has to be like a mutual agreement, I feel like. Again, I get something about contracts. Don't sign contracts unless you've written the small print. Like don't, even if this is a friend that is offering you something, like if it feels too risky for you, they have to understand that you need a safety measure. Maybe due to something, but you can only take steps that feel right to you. Not to say that you're procrastinating, you make steps, right? But they have to, you can make like, giant steps if you aren't ready. You may need to take small steps at a time, right? To adapt to it and still feel safe with it. I just feel like that, just bear in mind about this time that even if someone comes back into your life, maybe during or in the days around the full moon in Leo, just bear in mind that no matter how enthusiastic they are, it has to be a mutual agreement here. Like you could throw yourself, or you could put yourself on this horseback and ride off towards the sunrise with them. I just feel like if you also have a memory that they left you behind, that this ride towards the sunrise was exhausting you, or that eventually the money, ran out. Eventually there was nothing left, and you were the one who was now picking up your own pieces and gathering yourself together here. If you have a memory like this, it's not going to be erased quickly. So I feel like if someone is coming back and wanting to rekindle something here, wanting to rekindle something, well, it's great. It's just they have to be aware that you were hurt by something. And it's still in your mind here. Like you still think about this. And you don't want to be the one who is now gathering together the pieces here. You don't want to be lied to, manipulated. You don't want to be the one that is future faked. Right? You want to Five of Swords, I would say, is someone on guard. Like they don't take bullshit, right? They don't accept bullshit. They don't. You can like this one can be a salesman, as I said. Like they are very good at future faking something, perhaps. I don't think they think like that. They think they are just honest. They just bring something. But you think differently about the situation. What they bring, yeah, maybe it's a lot of fun, but there's a catch to the fun, right? Here. There's a catch to the fun. And this one may not see it. They may not be aware of it. And they may also not understand your point of view. They may disregard it. They may ignore it. You just like they're not open to that kind of maybe discussion. Yeah, that's what I feel like I have here. So for this card, I get another one, 9 of Raphael here. It says, make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time of life. And that's exactly what they do. It's like they come in like this genie here. And they bring forth that you can make a wish. Just wish for it, right? And we will ride into the sunshine. You can have the sunny beach. You can have the joyful time of life. And I think they're very good at this. Like, they're very good at selling this kind of. And I'm not saying that it. I do actually think you know it. Like, they can sell you this. Like, they can create this magical realm, this beach. Like, they can really do that. Like, they have this way of almost it's like being under a hypnosis, right? It's like a intoxicated in some way. That's how they come in like a genie here. They're like a genie. They come in and present you with something here. But I feel like they are just as quick as they come in with this wish, as quick they are also gone again. There could be a good offer coming in. But you have some kind of history with them, or a lack of trust in something. So maybe you're not ready. Maybe you are not ready to dream big here. And that is what they do, right? They dream big. Like, they have big big visions for life, perhaps, and they're very good at this. And if you are with them, you sometimes you can just lean into that, lean into that fantasy life, lean into this, and I think it can give you a moment of relief, perhaps. But when they leave again, it's also like they leave this emptiness, perhaps, behind. Yeah, I get a sense of like future faking. They're very good at selling some kind of taking you to fancy restaurants, having champagne. Like, they're very good at this, creating this, like the ultimate dinner or the ultimate date, the most fun and something like that. That's what they're very good at that. But I also get the feeling that you have been dealing with the after, the hangover that comes after the great dinner, the great party, the and you are realizing that something is missing, I think. Like, can I be this little fish here that swims into the hand of Poseidon? Do I feel that with him or her here? Do I feel that? And maybe you don't. Right? The gatherer can be your own internal warning system to kind of buckle up or to secure yourself in some way. An intuitive feeling here from the council. Your intuitive guides, your guide team around you. Maybe they live a very big life. You know, like there's always something happening here. There's always drama. There's always a lot of travel. Or there's always, you know, like Instagram pictures. There's always, the champagne dinner and lobster, right? There's always, maybe they do live a life like that. But they live it day by day. They don't think about security measures. They don't think about any kind of safety. They live they are very, you could say, they don't plan. They never make a plan. They live day by day, where you could be, you're like into like a future planning, right? An organization, pension plans, insurance, you know, things like you want something that kind of holds everything together, and they live a life that is without these structures, you could say. And they don't want them. I don't think they want them either. They live that life. They live day by day, day by day. What do I want to do today? Oh, I want to go to the beach, right? I want to go to the beach, or I want to go to Miami, right? I want to play at the casino. I want to, you know, and they're very good at that. They're very good at these dreams. When they have money, they spend it. When they don't have money, well, they crash on someone's sofa, you know, something like that. And the way they live their lives, it's challenging you, right? And you may recognize that how they live their life is actually very much like this. And because you're realizing it, you learn something about what you really need here, or what you really wish for. That you want something to be very safe, I feel like. I get safe. It's like this little fishy here is swimming away from the fire and right into the arms of a water sign here, perhaps. Like this could talk about changing your opinion about whom you should be attracted to, right? Whom you should let into your life here. You could say the full moon of Leo could also suggest the completion of Leo, meaning no more Leo, right? I've come to the end of the fire attraction. I've come to I want peace. I want safety. I want peace. I don't want like the fun and the lure and the champagne lobster dinners and the, you know, the gala dinners or the gala premiere films or whatever. No, I don't want that. What I really want is something else here. So who could this be? Can I get a little more on this king of, like, moving away from the fire towards a king of water here, right? Like you're fed up with the fives here. You're fed up with these five cards. Cards that are challenging you, that are oppressive or that makes you feel that you have to buckle up, where you feel lied to or betrayed, or where you become the one that cleans everything up, that gather the puzzle pieces after the mess, you know, and where you are the one that adapts, like the bird did after the flood, that you are the one that needs to adapt afterwards. You want to be able to swim into the hands of someone very loving and kind here, who protects you. Who is the Poseidon is the god, the god of the sea, right? A big, powerful, gentle, kind, watery god here, or father-like figure, right? You want that. You don't want this instability and insecurity. And that is actually your lead. Every time you feel like you have to buckle up and secure yourself even more, that is a red flag. So this one, led by your intuition or gut feeling here, please listen to it, right? Even though it comes from trauma, listen to it and get to know why. Why do I need the security measures in my life? Well, maybe it's because you didn't have them. Like maybe when you grew up, you didn't have this. Maybe you didn't have a king of water father here. Maybe you didn't have a safe haven or a safe hug or a safe harbor, you know. That's what they are teaching you here. They are teaching you about this. They are teaching you about something that may have happened once. So I get luminous warrior for the king of water here, which is actually interesting because this is very kind and loving and caring and vulnerable. And then I get a luminous warrior here. Maybe you need to become and luminous could suggest again fire, something that illuminates, something where, and warrior suggests also a fighter, right? Maybe you need to become a sense of a luminous warrior to be able to change your ways and choose something else here. Choose to direct your focus towards something else. Maybe you do become a bit like them in order to find the real safe harbor here for you. you learn something about love, I feel like. Love and safety, I want to say, is probably on the table here. Love and safety. And that without safety, there can't really be a feeling of real love. Like if you are in a relationship with someone and you don't feel safe there, it cannot be love. Then you are in a war zone. If you don't feel safe, you are unsafe. And you shouldn't feel unsafe with someone who is supposed to be your beloved here. I would suggest it's not the right one. Even though at some point you may have had very beautiful memories, or this can sometimes even indicate past life. You may have had a past life with them. You may regard them as someone you care about a lot here. That's why they are difficult to shed, or it's difficult to walk away from them. Maybe you have a past life story where you were lovers here. But in this life, I don't know, or in this time, maybe they have developed into something you don't recognize it, or it doesn't make you feel safe. You buckle up around them, and you shouldn't feel like that. It's like they are a genie, like they can pull a magic trick on you, right? Like a magician or something. Make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time of life. And maybe, yeah, I think they can bring that. I really think they can. If you can if it's possible to work together here, and you can overcome maybe some obstacles of fear or mistrust, then maybe you can together really create something different. But you have to see eye to eye here. You could be requesting something of them here. Something really watery, something loving, right? And asking for this actually maybe takes that you become a warrior, right? That you become daring enough. That you become, you want to fight for this love. You want to fight for this love. But you can't feel safe with how things are right now. How things are right now, you don't feel safe with them. Maybe you decide to have a very open and honest conversation with them, and that takes strength here. It takes strength to be that vulnerable. It takes strength to show the light, because that's what the luminous warrior does. It takes a stand and shows. It shows something about who you are, right? That you have a willingness to fight for your love. And request what it is that you feel is lacking. Saying that out loud, that you don't feel safe. I don't feel safe around you, right? I don't feel like I can, go into your hug, like that if you embrace me, I don't feel safe there. And I should feel safe there. And that takes strength, right? It takes strength to put a highlight on something here. It takes strength to say it out loud. It takes strength maybe even for yourself to recognize that. I should feel safe, but I don't. Right? Now it's out in the open. Now it's not just some kind of subconscious, strange, intuitive vibe. Now it's out in the open. This could be that you're saying it out loud to yourself. I don't feel safe in my husband's arms, right? And I should feel safe, and when you say it out loud like that, then you realize I should feel safe, right? I should feel safe there. This should be love. It should be mutually embracing. I should be able to be utterly vulnerable here with them. But I can't, right? And maybe that's what you're facing. Maybe maybe this comes to your subconscious, or from the subconscious to your conscious, realization. Luminous warrior can be like an epiphany. That something comes from down here, up here, and now becomes a focus. Now it's just not this strange gut feeling that you can't explain. Now it's actually a focus point for you, right? Something to be addressed, spoken, said out loud. It's out in the open. Like it's out in the open. Or at least maybe it's out in the open for yourself. That you have, like it's an epiphany, right? That I do not feel safe, but I should, right? I need to find someone, a partner with whom I can feel safe, because it's not working, right? That's what I feel like I have for you, Libra. So again, I get the feeling of never questioning your core. Like your core has a message. It has something it fights for, or something it wants to defend. Something that is truly you. And if this is truly you, you shouldn't ignore it, right? Again, I get this sense of a compromised energy, like you shouldn't compromise yourself because someone else wants to have fun, perhaps. If it's not making you feel safe, if it makes you buckle up, if you feel lied to or betrayed or left behind or abandoned, rejected here, you shouldn't feel like that. Then it's not a true commitment. You may love them dearly here. You may feel like it's a soulmate. You may feel that, but if they are not showing up for you, if they're not a safe haven for you, if you can't be vulnerable around them, it's not right for you. It truly isn't. Maybe you are in a process right now where this is recognized, that you're recognizing this, the luminous warrior. Maybe it comes, from just a gut feeling to it's in your mind now, that you have a focus on it, you see it now. And it could, maybe to walk away takes strength, maybe to talk about it takes strength, maybe to say it. The luminous warrior can also talk about I want to walk away, and I want to say it. I want to make this clear. It's out in the open that I'm looking for something else here. I need something else. So we are done, perhaps, right? It's out in the open, or at least it has become a focus point for you. And you feel how you buckle up. You feel how you feel less behind, or you are secondary or third. You're not a priority. That's also what the Five of Swords can talk about. You're not a priority. You have to buckle up on your own. It's not a corporation. Like this is it's not a true corporation. It's not a true commitment, I want to say. It's not commitment that you may be looking for here. This is what I have for you, Libra. I hope this helps somehow. Or definitely, maybe, even though it could be a hurtful time, a painful time or a hurtful time, you should trust your gut feeling. You should trust that intuition of yours, and maybe say it out loud. Hear yourself say it, right? And know that what you are experiencing is you're learning something about love here, and trust and safety and peace, perhaps, and what you have been involved in, or what is around you here, is not, or what is actually, like almost directly facing you, is I don't think it's right for you, if I'm honest. There's something to it, but it's not enough, I feel like. It's not enough just to have fun. You also want commitment. You want something that is joined, and I don't think this is. But you make your own discernment, right? Just bear in mind for the next upcoming full moon in Leo, just maybe don't make any quick decisions. Like, read the blueprint or the small print. Take your time. Don't get lured into something. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Take care of yourself, Libra. I send you my very best. Love and light to you. Bye-bye.